What's up, YouTube? I'm Chalktopus, and I'm having serious Dragon Ball Super withdrawals. It's been about a week since the series ended, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into, where I think the series is headed or where the franchise is headed, but it's been about a week since episode 131 aired and Dragon Ball Super officially ended, so I wanted to kind of unscripted turn on my camera, just kind of talk one to one or however many of you decide to watch this video. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it yet, you might want to stop watching, but assuming you've seen episode 131 and you're all caught up, I wanted to give my thoughts and impressions and things I liked, things I didn't like, like I said, where I think the series is going, and just overall some things that I noticed after watching this episode 1, 2, 3 times, because I have seen it multiple times since it aired last week, because personally, and these are all my opinions, but feel free in the comments section below to let me know what you think, and feel free to share your opinions as well. Where do we start? There's so much that I want to talk about, and I think the first thing that we should cover is just a recap of what happens. I mean, basically, the episode is about half battle and then half kind of wrapping up the series. So, you have Android 17 and Frieza who emerge from the rubble in episode 130, a complete surprise that Android 17 is still alive after he's self-destructed against Jiren, and then you have Goku who's kind of passed out because the mastered Ultra Instinct form took a toll on his body. Surprise, surprise, like who didn't see that coming? And everyone's base form right now, Goku's base form, no Golden Frieza, Jiren is just, he's, I want to say max power or whatever he has left after getting, whooped by Goku left and right in Mastered Ultra Instinct form. And, Jiren's up. He's ready to take Goku down, but then you have Frieza and 17 who step up, and they're holding back this Ki Blast, and then Goku manages to get up with what little energy he has left, turns to Frieza, and he's like, listen, I'll keep my end of the bargain if you keep yours. And from there, you knew it was going down. You knew Goku and Frieza were going to be fighting together in what was probably one of the most iconic battles in the Dragon Ball franchise, and personally, one of my favorite scenes in Super, probably since, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken against Hit in the 6 vs 7 tournament. Like, that was probably one of my favorite scenes. And then from there, you had the Ultra Instinct Kamehameha, where Kefla took one right in the face, and interpret that the way you want to. I think what I loved most about the fight is it was very raw and very real. I mean, people were taking hits, it wasn't very one-sided. You had Jiren, and he was taking on 3 people. So I think this really speaks volumes to how strong and how great of a fighter Jiren actually is, because it didn't come down to a one-on-one at the end. It came down to you needed all 3 of them to team up to take Jiren down. Goku could have done it when he was Mastered Ultra Instinct, but he didn't. And then you just have Vegeta in the stands with a shocked expression on his face, because you have the person who destroyed his pride and you have the person who destroyed his planet working together to take down Jiren to make sure their universe doesn't get erased. So they're fighting together. I guess Vegeta can't believe it, that it's actually happening. And I think most of us wanted to see Vegeta out there with Goku, because Vegeta always gets the short end of the stick. At one point, you had Goku physically throw or launch Frieza at Jiren, and I think what I really loved was Frieza was ready to go down with Jiren. He was ready to take himself out to take Jiren out. And Goku throws Frieza at Jiren, and he comes barreling down, he grabs him, and he's trying to take him down with him, but being the beast that Jiren is, he kind of redirects to a piece of rubble, and then once he gets up, and I didn't notice this until the second watch through, or until someone pointed it out to me, Jiren gets up, and he, like a savage, rips off Frieza's tail. He gets up, he grabs it, he rips it off and throws it. And then you have Frieza getting dragged literally across the rock. And, this is a once, badass villain that, used to destroy planets. And here he is, he's fighting for his life. He's fighting for his existence. He's getting dragged across the rock and cement. And he's had his tail ripped off. And then Goku, this is probably what I loved the most about this battle. You had Goku charging in to help Frieza, barely able to hold a Super Saiyan form. He's flickering, his hair is flickering between gold and black, and it speaks to how tired Goku was, because Goku can turn Super Saiyan like it's nothing. You know, it's pretty much is used as his base form when Goku goes Super Saiyan, but, you know, you had to tell how tired he actually was, because he was unable to hold it. And it was very reminiscent of the first time he went Super Saiyan against Frieza for me, because when he goes Super Saiyan on Namek for the first time, you know, he's angry that Krillin died, and his hair starts to flicker, and it's just, you know, it's not an instant transformation like it usually is now, and that's really what it reminded me of. And like I said, Goku charges in to Frieza, who's trying to self-sacrifice, and they're working together. They're pushing Jiren off, and then you have 17, he's the insurance to make sure that somebody from Universe 7 is on the platform, you know, at the end of this thing. And it wasn't a clean knockoff. You know, it wasn't very one-sided in the sense where, you know, Goku or Frieza were, you know, they had balance on the platform and they just kind of knocked Jiren off. If Jiren was going off, they were going off with him. They had to actually force both of them off. They had to work together, and all three of them went off at the same time. It was intense. But if we want to talk about the real MVP from the Tournament of Power, Android 17, dude. Android 17, who we really didn't know much about years ago after the Android arc ended, comes back in what was a huge surprise, and now dude he's a great fighter, he's a good guy, he is a family man, he's protecting the island that he lives on from poachers, and, you know, he came back, and probably, hands down, my favorite addition to the arc. Like, Android 17 was great. You know, lots of knockouts, lots of saves, he really added to it. And I also think there's a lot of potential there to continue to explore Android 17. You know, he has a family. How strong are his kids? He said he has a bunch of them. So, you know, we can always go into that. And, you know, that also depends on where Dragon Ball is going in the next year. Because, obviously, this was the, and I air quoted earlier, this was the end of Super. But let's be realistic here. Dragon Ball, it makes way too much money in Japan for them to just stop. So what I think is happening is they're taking a break for the movie, and then after the movie ends, or after the movie comes out, there's going to be some form of series, or maybe resurrection of Dragon Ball Super. I mean, I know they said that it's not a hiatus and they're ending Super, but the way it ended, and they're all, Goku and his friends' adventures will continue, we'll see you next time, or we'll be back. So they're insinuating that something is coming. I mean, you have the new Dragon Ball Legends game that's coming out. Dragon Ball FighterZ is at the hype of, you know, it's the hype of EVO right now. You have a movie coming out, you know, at the end of 2018. So something's going to happen, because they're not just going to give up the cash cow that is Dragon Ball. I mean, you could think whatever you want. You could think however the series ended, whatever the writing was, I don't care. You know, when it comes down to business, you know, your products that are making the most money, why would you ever get rid of them? So Toei is doing something, you know, something's planned. I don't know if it's another series. I don't know if it is, I don't know if it's going to be a continuation of Super. Even though they specifically said that it's ending, you know, it's not always true. They could always, you know, come back and say, you know, we were just kidding, or, you know, we didn't want to say anything at the time, so we don't know yet, but we will find out, you know, probably soon, being that the movie's coming out this year. As we're getting to the end of this video, I realized that I didn't talk about the things I didn't like in the last episode of 131, and I think the only thing that I didn't like was it felt a little rushed. Like, I feel like the final fight and the wrap-up could have been two separate episodes, but they kind of squished it all together, which is fine. And then at the end, you had Goku and Vegeta in their classic poses in Super Saiyan Blue, which is pretty rad. But that's really all I got for this video. Those are all my thoughts on the episode and where I think the series is going. or what I think is going to happen after the movie comes out. But let me know in the comments below what you think, where you think the series is going. Who is your favorite character in all of Dragon Ball Super? Drop it down in the comments below. But like I said, Android 17 was an amazing addition, and I'm really hoping that if the series does come back, we get to explore more or see more of Android 17, since, he really was the MVP for the tournament of power. But like I said, drop all your thoughts in the comments below. If you are new here, hit the sub button and subscribe. Make sure you smash that like button if you like this video. You can follow me on social media. On Twitter, I'm pretty active talking about Dragon Ball and other things, so that's probably where you would want to follow me if you had to pick one. I'm also on Instagram, and you can join my Discord channel, and I've been streaming on Twitch. A lot of links for you to click if you want to. But that's all we got. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.